Hispanic Heritage Month, we are going to highlight Puerto Rican actress, singer, dancer, and activist Rita Moreno. She is most well known for playing Anita in West Side Story, but before that, she was stuck in roles playing caricatures of Southeast Asian or Mexican women. Even in West Side Story, which she won an Oscar for, she was the only Latina cast in a musical that revolved around Puerto Rican immigrants. Since then, Moreno has won an Emmy, Grammy, and a Tony, always fighting for Latin representation in media during her journey.
This past Friday, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin announced a new policy which requires parental approval for any changes to students' names, nicknames, and/or pronouns. This has caused a lot of concern in the trans community. APS released this statement. We asked Mr. Hall and the counseling department to comment on this new policy.
In light of the Youngkin decision, which is really not a decision quite yet, but some guidance for schools, as school counselors at Washington Liberty High School, we understand that that can bring about a lot of big feelings, a lot of concerns, a lot of worries, and we are here to support you through all of that. So we are always open to having students of all genders coming through and asking questions or using us as a resource.
As principal, it's my job to continue to make Washington Liberty a place that's safe and welcoming for all young people and all staff who come into our doors. And so, that is my intent. Now, that will be my intent going forward, regardless of who's the governor or any other political figure. My job is to make sure that everybody feels safe and welcomed here at WNL, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Today, during generals period, student council members will come into your GP with ballots. You will vote for a third vice president, 3 senators, a class president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Winners will be announced Tuesday, September 27th. Elected members will then report to their new GP on Wednesday, September 28th.
Are you ready for homecoming, generals? It's October 15th!
Here's how you get to the daily announcement slides on Canvas. These slides will provide information about upcoming events at our school.
Hey Generals, Mac here to give you some weekly updates on fall sports. Field hockey played 2 games, besting Herndon on Monday and are slated to take on the Langley Saxons away on Friday. Volleyball played 2 games as well, playing Langley Monday and McLean Thursday. Lastly, don't forget to show up to the football game this Friday. The game is away at Wakefield, and the theme is Beach Out. Attendance is mandatory. Go Generals!
Released last Friday, Barbarian emerges in a time where the horror genre is overly saturated with single-word, pretentious, subtext-laden art house romps, where the big takeaway seemingly always ends up being related to how its characters are manifesting and dealing with their trauma. Thanks, A24. And with this film climate in mind, Barbarian delivers in being a delightfully fun, surprising, and frightful experience. Directed by Zach Kreger in his first foray into the horror genre, Barbarian follows a young woman temporarily staying in Detroit for a job interview at a rented-out Airbnb. However, upon her arrival in the dead of night, she discovers that the rental has been double-booked and is greeted by a tenant at the door. Despite her instinct telling her no, she decides to spend the night with the stranger, but discovers there is far more to fear within the history of the house than her unlikely roommate. Barbarian was a joy to watch in theaters, and the big screen truly elevated the horror experience to one of pure camp spectacle. Despite being one of the scariest movies of the year, audiences were laughing just as much as they were spilling their popcorn in fright, a feat that was only made possible by the masterful pacing and writing displayed on screen. Its best scares came from the building of tension, an aspect of the film that fell off slightly during its second act, but was made up for by its lasting unpredictability and genuinely hilarious bits. Overall, Barbarian was an entertaining watch, finding its identity in an oversaturated horror genre, falling no short of surprises, and the perfect movie to watch for getting into the upcoming fall spirit.
Hi students, my name is Blen, and it's Deaf Awareness Week. The first public school for the deaf was founded in 1760 Paris, France. Since then, in many countries, including but not limited to Mexico, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and over 40 schools in South Africa have opened. The largest school for the deaf is found in our own backyard, Gallaudet University, which is in Washington, D.C. They teach both spoken English as well as American Sign Language, also known as ASL.
Audio Jungle.